Hello again, it's Wendy. Today I've got a very exciting thing happening. I've just launched my whole new paper line and it's called French Vintage Papers. So today I'm going to show you everything that's in it and then we're going to make a small journal just using these papers. So let me just show you all the papers that come with the kit. What I did was choose vintage French writing and old documents and botanical flowers and beautiful faces. Plus these birds with the little crowns on them and these kind of embellishments which you see in palaces in France, and this really ornate kind of decor. On this one we've got an old map of Paris plus lilacs and this beautiful face. I love the roses and the butterflies and another cute bird with a crown on. I tried to do a variety of colors. This one has gold in it. It's got a gold fleur-de-lis throughout. But the colors all work together and they also have a basis of the writing in French, plus some music. So there's the pink one. And then I've got some cards that you can use for journal cards or page covers or whatever you like, with botanical flowers and old postcards in writing that I think even if you knew the language you might not be able to read it. However, this one says, "Ma chère petite Georgette." This one you actually can read. But I love this passion flower, and I think this is a kind of primula. And then these ones are like a postcard that actually go this way and can be used also in any journals and have more French writing and the birds with the crowns. And there are 4 of these in this design, plus some journal cards with just the pale pink. And these little pieces of ephemera, like the chandelier and the birdcage, I think are just gorgeous. And then also some antique French music, which, by the way, is handwritten notes. And then this one, which are just smaller cards that have leaves and roses and just some beautiful colors. So what we're going to do today is I'm not going to be using the cards and the postcards and those kind of things. I'm going to just be using the full sheets. And as I'm sure you know, when you print something off on your printer, it's got a line around it here because it has to have somewhere to grip. So I'm going to take a moment and cut off all these lines, and then we're going to start making our journal. Okay, I've trimmed the edges off of all these papers, and what I want to do now is I'm going to make a book out of it, and I've decided to use this one for the cover. So it will need to be folded this way. In fact, they all will, I think. No, wait on that concept. So I want to first score it, and with the edges off, it comes to 10 3/4 inches. So 5 3/8 is the center. I'm going to just mark that, and then I want to go 1/8 of an inch each side of that. Make sure it's nice and firmly in here, because I want a little bit of a spine on this little book because I'm going to fill it with quite a few papers. So and we will need to trim things as I go along, but that's not a problem. So then this one will fold on both of these lines. Let's get one of them going here. Come on. I used 28-pound paper, which is the equivalent of 105 GSM. So there, that gives us just a little bit of a square spine, which we'll need for space. And this will be the front, and I may decorate it. I haven't decided yet, but what I'm doing today is creating the book, and in my next video I will start decorating it. So wait, I still need that, don't I? I'll keep that. Now, some of these, so here's what I want to do. I could just glue this straight in like this, but I don't want to. I want to put pages between and have these open up. So that's how I'm going to do it. That means I need to score the interior pages down the center. So these ones will all be, oops, not that one, will all be 5 3/8 inches. Now you don't need a scoring board to do this. You can just fold them. It's a little bit harder to get them perfect, but you know, it's not the end of the world, let's face it, if it's not perfect. So I'll just get these ones all done. With this collection, I decided to just make it really ornate. And I've been watching videos about the palaces in France. Like Fontainebleau, I saw in a magazine the other day, and it's so ornate. It's just incredible, and I can just imagine, well, I probably can't really imagine the amount of workmanship and the number of people working to create all that ornateness. And when I was in Rome a couple of summers ago, it was the same, you know, these houses and villas, and they're just full to bursting with art. And since I love art and design, obviously, I thought I would make these kind of the same in that they're also bursting with art and design. And this is our last one. I gave a lot of thought to how I wanted to put this little book together, and I had something else in mind, and then I thought, you know what, it's not going to work. You know how you mull things over, and then, you know, in my case, I woke up at 5:30 this morning, which is ridiculous. I don't need to be awake that early. And lay there thinking, okay, how's that going to work? And then I thought, you know what, I need to do this differently. So that's what I'm doing now. Now, for these pages, they are not going to fit inside one another. They are simply going to be beside one another. And I think I will go over them with my little bone folder here. I want them to have a nice sharp fold. So we've got the cover, which is this one, and the pieces that go inside. Now you can put them in any order that you want, and of course they need to be going upright, so I'm going to make sure that that's the case. I probably need to just turn them all over. Right, they were all upside down, which means the whole group was upside down. Okay, now where do I want them? That's a question. Some of them have colors that are a bit more intense. I think I want her at the back, and I want this paler one near the front. So, no, I want the green one in the front. No, I want the music, the birds, then the pink one. Okay, that'll work. All right, now I'm going to put this aside for the moment, and we'll get back to that one. But what I want to do now is add the in-between pages. And you can use anything that you like. I was thinking of using one of these, but it might be a little bit busy. And I also have some of these coffee dyed and watercolor dyed papers, which I think I'm going to not use this because I don't want it to fight with the pictures that are already there. So I need pages to go in between here. I'm going to use maybe that one. This one has a little bit of a tear in it, but we can fix that as we go along. So I'm going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I've got 4 going here. This is one that I tried something new on it. I put some calligraphy ink in a bottle of a little bit of water, and I just sprayed some spots. It works great. It's just super. But first I'm going to fold these with also my scoring board. Just saw the delivery truck out and I thought, oh, is it my day? Is it my day? Turns out it's not my day. Sorry, I'd had that light turned off because they make me so hot. Okay, so this is, it's supposed to be 8.5 by 11, but it's actually 1/8 of an inch short. But I'm going to do it at 5.5 anyway. That's not the right thing. Because we can always trim it. And I'll have to trim them anyway because the printed sheets are going to be a little bit smaller because I took that edge off from the printer. I'm going to just do these edges now, make them flat. Okay, I'm going to fold all these and I'll be back. Now I've folded all my sheets, and so I'm going to place them between these. Now remember, the cover goes here, this will go here, and I need one in between. So I'm going to start with a blue one. So when you open the book, you'll get the blue page, and then you'll get this page, and then you'll get a coffee dyed page, or tea dyed. I think I did tea dyed. Oops. Yeah, this is right. It's easy to get confused by these things. And then this one will come. And so on. So I'm not going to do them all, but I'll just show you the next steps. And like I said, cover last. So what I want is this one to attach to this one. And all I need to do is just glue it on. And I've sort of debated about what kind of glue to use. This one got quite crinkly, and therefore probably needs something a little bit more wet. But at first I'm going to try using just a glue stick because it tends to make them just lie down a little bit flatter. So I'll put it on this side and then we'll see how it goes. I may have to go back in with the tacky glue or the white glue. I'm just not sure yet. But rather than attach just at the spine, this way it makes for stronger pages. So I want the folded edges to be right close together because they're going to end up being the spine of the book, or in the spine of the book. Okay, so what I want now is just to give this a really good press down. Because the blue paper is quite rumpled, I want to make sure that we get into every little crevice here. And like I said, I might have to go back in and add more glue. We'll see about that. But that looks pretty good. And now I want this one. So I need to glue this side. And again, lining up the spine really exactly as you can. So that will work. Press that down. Go over here. And again, press it really well so that it gets in all those little wrinkly bits from the dyed paper, because the paper, water will always make paper, or even dampness will make paper warp. This has a little bit of a corner here. Needs a bit more glue. And we will be trimming around the edges here, so that's not an issue. Now I want this one to land here. So the glue stick seems to be working okay. As long as it holds, I won't need to really, you know, lift it up and put more glue on it. So how are you today? How's your day going? Right now it's just about noon here on the west coast of Canada, where spring is in full swing, you could say. I'm trying to line this up with the white paper underneath, not with the colored ones. And depending how it turns out, we may end up, you know, just making the whole book a little bit smaller, or just leaving it as is, because does it matter if the ends stick out a little bit? Get this really pressed down well. So everything here is in blossom, and it's just gorgeous. This one also gets the glue treatment. Yeah, I have lilacs blooming in my yard. The next page is this one, and we're basically just doing the same thing. So got this different glue. I'm not really sure how it's going to perform. I've had sort of mixed feelings about glue sticks, because sometimes, like, I've got a couple of big ones and they're just like dry in no time. However, I will keep the faith on the glue sticks, and because I do like that they're a little bit drier on the paper, even though they come up a bit moist. You can tell. Okay, let's get this one down nice and firm. This is such an easy project, and all you have to do is get the papers, which are on my website, on my store at summerbaystudio.com. Just go to the store and you'll find them. And just print them off. They're all just printable. So instant print. And you've got the entire set in no time flat. I love that, actually. I love printables, because instantly you don't have to wait. I mean, sure, we all love getting things in the mail, but I love that I can just download something and have it right now. And I've bought lots of things that way. Next page is the green one. So what's springtime like where you are? I'm curious, because I have relatives on the east side of the Rocky Mountains here in Canada, and they had snow yesterday. And meanwhile, our cherry trees and lilacs and everything are blooming. And tulips and the daffodils are all done. And I just love it. It's just wonderful to have springtime come after really kind of a long and cold winter. I was looking at the rhododendron in my yard, and the blossoms are pathetic. It's like a third of what we normally get, and I think it's just because the winter was so hard on the bush. We're going with this one in the back. which I love. It's just so beautiful. I just love beautiful things. And I think, well, I was reading this book recently, and they said basically beautiful things make you happier. So the more beautiful things that you can have in your life, the better. And I was reading this morning in a book about nature and how good it is for your health. They've discovered by actual scientific research that people who live next to a park or live next to nature in some regard actually have a longer lifespan. So if you don't live next to a park or have no way to sort of get out of the city or get out of your apartment or, you know, get out and get into nature nearby, it's probably worth your while to go off to the nearest park as often as possible, because it's amazingly good for your health. Now, my question to myself is, do I want to put another page in there? And I don't think I do. I think I will forego the last one and attach this one to the cover, so that in the back, this will be at the back cover. Now you can see how much smaller this one is than the inside pages because of this spine, but also that they fit so much better. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to line this with some cardstock so that it's nice and firm and cover-like. So I'm going to put the glue on half of it to start with, and then the other half. So where I live, it's a farming community. I look out my window at mountains. Just going to line this up so it's kind of even all around, because I will need to trim this. There, look at that. Also a 10-minute drive from a big lake. So if I want to, I can just go up to the lake, get a coffee, walk around, and get some nature. Now I've used up another glue stick, so that one might as well be chucked. And we'll get one of these. Oh, we've got a mower next door. That's the one thing about spring. You get the mower as well. I'm sorry, but I'm just going to carry on in spite of it. Put some of this down this edge because I don't want to go over this edge, as I don't want it to get on this colored part. Okay, now I need to score this. I probably should have done it beforehand, but that's okay. Just get it good and pressed down. Make sure I don't have any glue on here. I think I can probably toss that one as well. I should have put something under this, but I didn't think I'd be coming very near to the edges, and I didn't, but that's okay. All right. This one needs to be scored in the same place as the other one. I'm pressing really hard on this, and I'm going to go over it with a little bit sharper tool. Just so that I can get a nice sharp fold in it. There. And then we fold it on both folds. Which it cooperated with nicely. There. Our little book is going to go in here. So now what I need to do is attach this page to the front and this page to the back. But first, I want to do some trimming. And what I'm going to do is trim off this and this, well, the same, about 1/4 of an inch off every page, so that they all fit in there together, and I'll be right back. There, now I've trimmed the edges. I had to resort to my big trimmer to do these because I kind of had to do them all at once, and it was a bit of a slog for my small trimmer, but I took about 1/4 of an inch off all around, and I think it just works just fine. And right here, it's not exactly exact, but once I fill it with all kinds of ephemera and pockets and whatever, they're not going to line up anyway, so that's not an issue. And my cover, this is my cover. It is warping just slightly because of the glue, but that's kind of to be expected. So now I just got to make sure that this is actually facing the right direction. Everything came out right. And we're all good to go there. And so I'm going to glue this onto this, and I'm doing this side this time because this is a little bit bigger now and I don't want glue sticking out around the edges. And I also want to get right into these crevices and crinkles and bumpy parts, and even hang off the edge here because I don't have to worry about getting it onto my pink board here, my workspace. However, it is kind of hard to hang on to when my fingers are all sticky. That should help. Just wipe some of that off my fingers. And now I need to line this up so that it lines up with this fold here. Top and bottom. And the same distance, which is about an 1/8 of an inch. And I'll just slide it down just a fraction. Okay, I'm just going to turn this around so I can use my right hand and press it all down well and hold it up so that it doesn't pull against that. And you can see by the end that it's like centered on there, which is why we need to have a little bit of a spine. Now we can do this one as well. In this case, I will glue into the spine as well. So give that a really good swipe of glue, and then put the rest of it on here. And I think actually I might use a little bit of the tacky glue as well, just so that I know that all those pieces are caught, so it's not just the end pieces. So look at that. Gluey fingers. I don't know what I got on there, but I'm just going to put a line of this glue down here as well. Get that blob off the end. Plus I'm going to just spread it a little bit so that it's all over the spine, not just that one bead down the middle. And now I'm just going to press that down. Actually, let's do it this way. There's this beautiful piece of paper where I'm picking up the blue. Look at that, it's all over here. Oh well, everything cleans off eventually. There. Now this will take a little while for the glue to all dry as usual. I'm sure you're probably familiar with that concept and how long it takes. It still feels a little damp because of the dampness of the glue, but here's our new journal. And I love the size of it. It's just compact. You can throw it in your purse, carry it with you. You can decorate the front with however you want, or the back. And what I'm going to do in my next video is use some of the ephemera that comes with it, with the French vintage papers, and use those in the pages. So I haven't quite decided how that's going to look, but I love to make it up as I go along, and I'm sure you probably do too. And if you don't, it doesn't matter because you can just follow along with what I've done. So there's our project. I hope you've enjoyed it. I certainly have. It's a really fun and easy one. And all the papers are there for you. You can put actually plain paper in between here. You don't have to do this, or you can just skip that altogether and glue these pieces together and then just have the colors throughout and decorate that. If you wouldn't mind, take a moment and subscribe to my channel and click the little bell so you can get notified when I've got a new video. And you can see the remainder of this part 2 in my next video. And I'll see you next time.